Hey there, hello there, Jeff Cardove, welcome you to a round one review / round two preview of the NCAA SUperCup tournament. We had 32 games in 7 days. Of course, we had Super Saturday with 8 days. So I will review from bracket by bracket, like the games and all that. We had one fantastic finish. Well, a thing called deemed a fantastic finish. And that was Kansas State versus Virginia, in which Michael Bishop threw 4 interceptions, yet they still had a chance to tie or win against Virginia. Bishop throws a ball, and the guy catches it at the 40, but then all of a sudden there's a roughing the passer, 15-yard penalty, and Kansas State gets a chance to kick the field goal to force the game into overtime, which they did, and then they win the game in overtime. It was like one of the weirdest things that's happened. Michael Bishop played terribly, and then all of a sudden, you know what? Guess what? They win the game. It's akin to years ago, back in the 2016-17 tournament, when Memphis and BYU surprisingly got to the quarterfinals, played in New Orleans. Memphis was down by 10, and then they scored a touchdown, and then BYU got the ball, and BYU decided to kick a long field goal and try to kill the clock, which they got it down to 3 seconds. Memphis got a completion, but then there was a 15-yard roughing the passer call, and then Swick got a weird field goal. But BYU did win in triple overtime in that game. Anyhow, so I'm going to show you the updated bracket. Push out a little forward. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not sitting in my chair, obviously, because I'll give you guys. So this is what the brackets were like. The scores are on the left and the right hand side of the columns and all that. So give you guys a quick look. I'll go through each bracket bit by bit. Anyway, the Sugar Bowl bracket, the number 1 seed Georgia Bulldogs took on Marshall. This was a huge game. This was actually one of the craziest games around, which was played on Saturday. As Georgia and Marshall end up tied 7-7 going to overtime. Can you believe it? That Marshall held Georgia to 7 points in regulation. And the weird thing about Marshall is that no Pennington and no Leftwich. They both were hurt and out of the game, so they had to have their number 3 guy, Flores, throw. Unfortunately for him, Georgia picked off Flores' chances in overtime and won the game 10-7. Georgia heads to the Meineke Bowl in Charlotte. Their opponents? Clemson. Clemson was the 9th seed. They hosted Utah State and beat Utah State 13-0. So Clemson will play Georgia, and it's shocking to see those two guys as a second-round matchup. I mean, Clemson didn't clinch that fast. And they were given a 9th seed. So Clemson knew what they're doing. Usually they beat the 1 seed. And remember, Clemson is the defending runners-up from the 2020-21 tournament because they lost to Arkansas on that horrific fumble with under a minute left to Arkansas. We'll talk about Arkansas later. Anyhow, so that game's in Charlotte, and that game will be on, if I look at my notes, that game will be on Friday. So, of course, tomorrow, the 15th, is when we'll start doing second-round games. So 4 games. Well, there's 16 games, round of 32. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 4 games each day. And all that. So they'll play on the Friday the 17th in Charlotte again, Georgia versus Clemson. Whoever wins might actually have a chance to get to the quarterfinals because the bottom half doesn't look that big either. In the other part of the bracket, Texas Tech went into SMU to play SMU, and Graham Harrell puts up a touchdown clinic, winning the game 27-17 for Texas Tech. They will play the Arizona State Sun Devils, who went into San Antonio, crushed San Antonio, and Arizona State by process. Well, Clemson is the home team for the Meineke Bowl by geographic proximity. Arizona State is actually the home team against Texas Tech because of the seeding. They're playing in Boise at the Humanitarian Bowl, and that will be on Thursday. So in a couple of days, Texas Tech will take on ASU. Georgia Clemson will play on Friday. So because, Arizona State, I think, was closer to Idaho anyway. But, yeah, Arizona State, by the fact they are the better seed, will have home field quote unquote, against Texas Tech. In the bottom half of the Sugar Bowl bracket, Fresno, the number 6 seed, beat Arkansas on home turf 13-3. Because Fresno was the first Mountain West team to qualify, they were allowed to host a game. Otherwise, they probably would have conceded and Arkansas would have got the home game. But Arkansas got crushed. They only scored 3 freaking points, and they're defending champs. Pissing me off kind of in the detail. So Fresno heads to the Emerald Bowl in San Francisco, California. They're the home team because, it's the game's in California, and they're in California. And that game will be on Wednesday. So tomorrow, Fresno will play the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Notre Dame, as the 3 seed, took down number 14 Western Kentucky quite easily, 34-3. So Notre Dame will take on Fresno. Fresno's the home team because of geographic proximity. So we'll see if Fresno can take down another big name school. Meanwhile, the winner of that game will get the winner of the Motor City Bowl, which will happen on Friday. So on Friday, it will be Utah, the 10th seed, who went into Northern Illinois, took on the MAC Superstars, Northern Illinois, and won 48-7. So Utah wins. They will face Boise. Boise is the 15th seed, shocked Michigan State in Michigan State, 31-21. It was actually 21-21, but Michigan State made a few critical mistakes, and Boise pounced for 10 points. Shows how Michigan State got lucky they were the 2 seed, but Boise will play Utah, and because Utah has the better seed, Utah will be the home team against Boise. So you got yourself Georgia, Clemson, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Fresno, Notre Dame, Utah, and Boise in the Sugar Bowl graphic. It's worth noting that whoever wins Georgia, Clemson must face the winner of Texas Tech, Arizona State, and that winner will be at the Chick-fil-A Bowl in Georgia, in Atlanta. So if Georgia wins, well, they're the 1 seed. Georgia gets home field. Otherwise, it will be up to seeding. Meanwhile, the winner of Fresno Notre Dame faces the winner of Utah Boise, and those 2 winners will play in the Alamo Bowl in San Antonio. None of those 4 teams have geographical proximity, so basically it'll be the best seed. And Notre Dame at the number 3 could be the home team at the Alamo Bowl. That would be huge in San Antonio. Now let's go to the Cotton Bowl bracket. Number 1 Oklahoma crushed East Carolina 31-7. They're going to the Texas Bowl in Houston. That will be on Thursday. And they will face the UAB Blazers, who went into Minnesota at the Metrodome, beat them 22-20. Chip Lohmiller had a last-second field goal attempt to win the game, but it failed. So UAB will face Oklahoma, and Oklahoma is the home team for that game. Over in the Armed Forces Bowl in Fort Worth, Texas, on Friday, the first team will be the Pitt Panthers as the 4 seed, beating Dakota's 34-21. Now, Dakota's actually shocked a lot of people by getting to overtime against Pitt, but Pitt scored a touchdown and then had a pick 6 against Dakota's that, they ran into the end zone at Heinz Field. Pittsburgh will play Missouri, who shocked UTEP 20-0 on their turf. UTEP could not play at home because their field is home to the Sun Bowl, and that is to come up later on. So UTEP had to go on the road, and Missouri won. So Pitt, based on their seeding, number 4 seed, will be the home team against Missouri at the Armed Forces Bowl. So the winner of Pitt, Missouri, will take on the winner of Oklahoma, UAB, and those winners will play in the Sun Bowl, where UTEP hopefully would be as a home team. So because of Texas and all that, so the better seed, if Oklahoma beats UAB, they're definitely the home team for the Sun Bowl. Over in the bottom half of the Cotton Bowl bracket, number 11 Wisconsin crushed Lafayette in Defiant Powder 17-0. So they will go to Tiburon. They go to Tiburon Stadium in Florida, not affiliated with any college stadium thing, but anyway, at Tiburon, and they will play the UCLA Bruins. UCLA went into Texas A&M, faced the 12th man, and came out with a 14-point win. So UCLA with the big shock, they'll face Wisconsin. That's at Tiburon, and that will be on Thursday as well. So that a lot of games on Thursday on the left side of the bracket. So that is it. So it's Wisconsin, UCLA, and Wisconsin, based on seeding, will be the home team. And in the other bottom, at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, that will be on Saturday. NC State will be there. They beat Liberty 16-10. It was a close game. That game actually was a neutral site game because Liberty Stadium was not really deemed all-purpose, and NC State didn't want to play at home, so they rolled the dice, and it was the Yale Bowl who hosted this game, and NC State will face the Ohio State Buckeyes, if you will. The number 2 Ohio State Buckeyes actually had a little bit of an issue with Toledo. They only won by 10. So OSU, because of seeding, will be the home team to NC State. So the winner of Wisconsin UCLA will play NC State or Ohio State. Those two winners will face off in the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, and seeding will determine who's the home team for that. So once again, I'll show you the left side of the bracket. So you can see that. All right. So let's go with the right side of the bracket. The Fiesta Bowl bracket, number 1 Cincy was hosting Mississippi State. A lot of people said Cincy didn't deserve the 1 seed, and boy howdy, did they not deserve it. They got crushed 23-7 by the Bulldogs. So Cincy goes down. So Mississippi State heads to the Independence Bowl in Shreveport on Friday, and they will face the Baylor Bears. Surprisingly, Baylor didn't want to play at home even though their stadium looked good. Well, Baylor played Eastern Michigan. Both teams didn't like to play in their stadium, so they went neutral site, and Baylor played at the University of Texas, who didn't get in. So Baylor crushed Eastern Michigan 27-0. I mean, the MAC is kind of pathetic, don't you think? So Baylor will play Mississippi State, and based on seeding, Baylor will be the home team against Mississippi State. Next up is the Papa John's Bowl in Birmingham, and that is on Wednesday. So tomorrow, Army will be the first team in the Papa John's Bowl. They shocked San Diego State 17-7. SC State could have hosted a game, but because of San Diego State hosting the Holiday Bowl, because of that stadium hosting the Holiday Bowl, they couldn't do it. So San Diego State went to Army to face the Knights. And the Army Knights win 17-7, shocking a lot of people in the process. And who will they face in the next round? In Birmingham? That would be the Central Florida Golden Knights, who beat Central Carolina in Central Carolina 18-7. Central Carolina got to host the game because they were the first Sun Bowl team to qualify, so they got a home game. And UCF won. So Army will take on UCF at the Papa John's Bowl. UCF, based on their better seeding, actually gets the home game. So it could be like the winner of Mississippi State Baylor has to face Army or Central Florida. And the winner of those games will play in Tampa at the Outback Bowl. Central Florida has a chance to host the Outback Bowl as a hosting because of it being in Florida. Could UCF be headed to the quarterfinals? Who knows? The bottom half of the Fiesta Bowl bracket, at the Music City Bowl in Nashville, that will be on Saturday. Kansas State will be there. They beat Virginia 24-17. Virginia surprisingly didn't want to host the game on their turf. Kansas State didn't want to either, so they chose, and I believe it was Louisville that got to host this game. And of course, this was the game that had the fantastic finish at Kansas State. Despite all odds, had that roughing the passer penalty that helped them get closer with their field goal attempt to tie the game, and then they went in overtime. So Kansas State will take on the Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa, as a 3 seed, took care of Kentucky 24-14 on their turf at Kinnick. So Iowa will host Kansas State because of seeding. So Iowa will be the home team to K-State. And also in the Fiesta Bowl bracket, in Hawaii, that will be on Saturday, Ole Miss will be there. Ole Miss beat Empire State 17-7, playing at Empire State, and they will face Oregon, who crushed Boston College in Defiant Powder 37-6 on their own turf at Autzen. So Oregon, because of their seeding, will host Ole Miss, be the home team in Hawaii. And the winner of those matchups, the Mystic State and the Holiday Hawaii winners, they will play in San Diego at the Holiday Bowl, where San Diego State was probably going to hope to play. So based on things, it will be seeding that will determine who hosts in San Diego. I'm surprised that the Holiday Bowl didn't just get switched with the Outback Bowl and put the Holiday Bowl at the top half the bracket because of San Diego State. But San Diego State lost anyway. And now let's get to the Orange Bowl bracket. At the top of the Orange Bowl bracket, number 1 Bama took on number 16 Central Michigan on home turf and won 24-7. Bama is headed to the GMAC Bowl in Birmingham. That will be on Wednesday, so they don't have much of a turnout. Bama will have to take on Appalachian State, who had the first big win of the SUperCup, winning 20-10 over Nevada at a neutral site. I think it was in Wyoming. Yeah, Wyoming got to host Nevada and App State. So App State with the win, so App State will face Bama in Birmingham at the GMAC Bowl. So I think that basically App State might be toast. Next up is the game at the New Mexico Bowl. That will be on Wednesday as well. So first off is Oklahoma State, who beat Oregon State on home turf 24-12. They will face Penn State, who went into Utah to take BYU on. And Penn State has a habit of choking in the first round. Nope, they didn't. They didn't choke this time. They went to BYU and won by 9. Penn State will face Oklahoma State in New Mexico, and based on seeding, Oklahoma State will get the home game. So the winner of the GMAC and the New Mexico Bowl will meet at the Cap One Bowl in Orlando. And Bama has a chance to be in as the home team. Of course, if they beat App State, with Oklahoma State and Penn State playing as well. In the bottom half of the Orange Bowl bracket, Western Michigan, after seeing a lot of their MAC militants get shut down like that, actually went to the University of Houston, and beat the Cougars 14-10. So Western Michigan won by 4 points. So they get to the Insight Bowl in Tempe, Arizona, and they will face the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, who also played a neutral site game. I think at Florida State, if I remember right. They beat Georgia State 24-0. So Wake is the 3 seed, by the way. Wake Forest, because they're the highest seed of the 2 teams with Western Michigan, they get the home game, quote-unquote home game, at the Insight Bowl. And the last matchup in the round of 32 is in Las Vegas on Saturday, and it will be Air Force. Well, of course, I was on the wrong end of that Air Force win, as Air Force crushed my Canada State Cougars 44-17. I tried my best to get Canada into the second round, but I failed time and time again. Air Force will face Miami, who went into Michigan and beat Michigan 10-0. Maybe thinking, how's that? Well, the randomizer had Miami as one of the last few teams to qualify, so they were given a 15 or 16 seed on the premise of that. Miami actually was originally supposed to be the 16 seed to face Bama, and with Central Michigan taking on Michigan, but because, Central Michigan was worse, they switched the seats around. Central Michigan would take on Bama, and Miami had to face Michigan. Bad Michigan will be bitching about that. So that game's in Las Vegas. Air Force, because they're the better seed, and they're close to Nevada anyway, will get the home game. So the winner of the Insight in the Las Vegas Bowls, as I said, will play in Toronto at the International Bowl, and the best seeding will be around, and that could be Wake Forest. So the tea leaves, in my mind, I guess I should give you the right side of the bracket. You can see the scores, I hope. All that. So the tea leaves, by the way, the tea leaves are in it. The Sugar Bowl's got a few key matchups and all that. A lot of people said Oklahoma will be basically unopposed in a chance to play in the quarters at the Cotton Bowl, because UAB, Pitt, and Missouri are still left. So I think Oklahoma might run unopposed. However, Wisconsin and Ohio State will be fighting it out to probably play Oklahoma, if everything holds true. In the Fiesta Bowl bracket, it's wide open. Mississippi State, Baylor, Army, and UCF at the top half of the Fiesta Bowl bracket. Who knows who will be going to Phoenix, to Glendale in the Fiesta Bowl. You got, on the bottom half, you got Iowa and Oregon, but Iowa and Oregon might be top favorites to get to the semifinals in the first place. How did the Fiesta Bowl? Meanwhile, in the Orange Bowl bracket, it's actually tight. Well, it's Miami's bottom half of the bracket to lose. Miami's bracket to lose to get to the Orange Bowl in the quarterfinals, because Bama, OK State, and Penn State are in the top half. Miami is the only decent team in the bottom half, and who knows? Maybe Miami might get to the Orange Bowl and their own stadium, if you will. So fun and frivolity ahead. Thanks for watching this round 1 review / round 2 preview. I'm Jeff Diamond. Thanks for watching.